moment to ask our panelists for their key takeaways or their final thoughts. Gary, you let us off this afternoon. Perhaps you want to be the first to close us out with a few of your key takeaways.
Yeah, very good. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway here is to make sure, at least for the practitioners out here, make sure that you really do invest the time up front to really kind of plan holistically with the investment. I can't stress the importance of how we have typically done deals without opportunity zones and the traditional kind of financial projections and forecasting, and it's just a little bit different here with the opportunity zone legislation that's in place. To really sit down here with good counsel, good CPAs, consultants, and think through that whole structuring piece. Think through how cash comes into the business here with a plan first. And then also how you're going to monitor all the compliance issues throughout the investment compliance period.
Thank you so much. And just cycling through the group, John, a couple of key takeaways from yourself as well, please.
I think one of the points that Steve made is something to keep in mind, as the tax tail shouldn't really wag the dog here. I mean, whether it's improved property or vacant land, I think investors would be well advised to make sure that the investment pencils out real time, and that the returns that they worry about getting not just a return on their capital, but a return of their capital, because sometimes these things can wind up being expensive for an investor and risky. So you don't want to you just need to be careful and be well advised.
Thank you so much, John. And Steve, any takeaways from yourself? Anything further to add?
Well, look, we just had an election, which maybe in some senses is still sort of in its dying throes here. But to those of us who are expecting possibly major tax law changes, my guess is that you're not going to see that however this plays out, either with respect to opportunity zones or otherwise. What you may see, though, are enhanced state level efforts to constrain the use of OZs for state tax benefits purposes to specific socially targeted reasons, either job growth or types of industries to be involved in or otherwise. So I think as we're all moving forward here with these structures, one thing that we need to keep in mind is, what are the states doing that we are putting our projects in? Do we have an extra layer of concern? Do we need to work through issues at the local level in order to make sure that the project doesn't just satisfy federal tax law benefits, which it will if you're well advised, but also runs through the mousetraps of the state and local level as appropriate?
Thank you so much. And finally, Michael, do you want to close us out with a few of your key takeaways?
Sure. I want to, first echo Gary's point that pre-planning is essential here. I would caution people not to be too to look at the fact that there's simply one penalty in this context, or at least one specific penalty in the QOZ context, and there are only a couple of QOZ specific tax forms that need to be filed, as suggesting that compliance will be simple and straightforward. It can be simple and straightforward if you do a sufficient amount of pre-planning ahead of your acquisition of the property or your starting of the business in an opportunity zone. We or other advisors can help make sure that you put into place everything that you need to put into place, whether it be entities, operating agreements, checklists, or working capital plans. We can work with you to make sure that those are all in place so that you have the smoothest setup possible for your opportunity zone fund. So be sure to take it very seriously and engage the necessary professionals to make sure that you do that.